Hello everyone, welcome to our fourth video on while loop. Today we will start explaining the while loop, and then we'll explain the import statement, and then we will design a very simple game, rolling dice game. So let's start. With the for loop, we knew that the number of elements you want to loop over. So let's say in my class I had 10 students, so I want to loop over the 10 students, so I know beforehand how many elements I want to loop over. In some cases, you don't know how many elements you want to loop over. So let's give an example. So you are designing an online website where you are selling some items. So you want the website to always show the statement the items are available till you have no items. So let's do this in Python. So I define a stock which is equal to 10. So I say that as long as stock is greater than 0, please do this loop. And in the loop, I have the print statement, the available items in the stock, and then the number of stock. And then here I'm just reducing the stock each time by one element. So that this means that each time there is someone buying an element, and this is not true all the time, but I want to get to the end of the loop. So each time I reduce the stock by one element, okay? And then if I run this, as you see here, you see that you get this statement, the available items in the stock 10. In the next iteration, because you took off one from the stock, so by this line of code here, you see that it became 9 and 8, and then till you get to 1. When it's 0, it will not enter this while loop anymore. So when stock is not when stock is not greater than 0, then you will not enter this while loop anymore. You can have something saying else print no stock available, and if you run this, you will see it's printed at the end. You are saying that if this condition is not satisfied, then please do this, whatever condition, whatever instructions here. So if stock is not greater than 0, so please perform whatever instruction in this else statement. So this is because there is an there is if condition here, right? You are checking that if stock is greater than 0, then else you can do something else. So the idea that while and the for loop always have an if condition to check that the loop is finished or not. Okay, so let's move to the next point. I want to design a very simple game. So the game contains 2 players. So each of them is rolling a dice, and the winner is the first player who gets 2 6. Okay, so once you have to count how many times each player getting 6. Once a player gets 6 twice, he's the winner. So you know that rolling dice is a random process, right? So it's a random number. So I need to generate a random number between 1 and 6 for each player. And then you need to count how many times each player getting 6, and the first player who gets 6, you exit the loop, and then you say this player won. In order to do this in Python, you don't have to write the random number function yourself. There's a random number function that generates random integer. It's called randint, but you have to import it from another library. You can think of this as a file containing different functions. So this random is called module, but you can think of the module as a file containing different functions, and you want to choose from these functions only randint to use. Okay, so this import statement enable you to use functions written by other developers. You don't have to write everything yourself, and this is a smart thing to do. Okay, so I imported randint, and you will see later how we will use it. And then I defined a variable called count6 for player 1. this is just carrying how many times player one got 6, and then the second variable is count 6 player 2, how many times player 2 got 6. And I say continue the game here in this statement, while loop. So continue the game till any of them gets 2, 6. Okay. So I'm saying continue the game. So this is here while count 6 player 1 doesn't equal to 2, and count 6 player 2 doesn't equal to 2. So if any of them got 2, exit the loop. Okay, so if any of them got 2, exit the loop. So you will keep playing as long as none of them gets 2, 6. Okay, so let's see how this is happening inside the loop. So player 1 this line here is when player 1 is playing. So this function rand_int will return a number between 1 and 6. So in the first iteration, player 1 will get a number between 1 and 6, and player 2 will get number between 1 and 6. There will be different numbers, right? And we can show this also in the print statement. And you are checking if player 1 is equal to 6. So you are asking, did this line of code return 6 or not? If then, you have to increase the number of counts for player 1 by 1. So that's what I'm doing here. So this count 6 player 1 was 0. Okay, was 0 here. I'm adding 1 to it, so it's becoming 1. And I'm printing player 1 scored. So he was scored 1 point because he got 6. And you do the same for player 2. And once any of them gets 2, then the game is over because this condition will not satisfy it anymore. Okay, these two conditions, one of them will not be satisfied, and you need both to be satisfied to enter to the while loop. That's why we have the AND here. Okay, so if we run this, you will see that player 1 scored, and then player 2 scored, and then player 1 scored, and then player 2 scored, and then we exit because one of them won. We want to write down which one won, okay? And we want to write down how many iterations we went through. Okay, so let's actually print all the values through all the iterations. So I want to say print player 1 and then I will also print player 2. Now if we run this, you will see that player 1 got 2 in the first iteration, and player 2 got 5, player 1 got 3, and then player 2 got 4. And let's look when player 1 got 6 here. That's why you printed player 1 scored. Okay, and then you continue playing. You see that player 2 scored here because he got 2. He got 6. So here we printed player 2 scored. And then you will keep playing till one of them scores 6 again, because now he will win. So that you see here that player 1 scored 6, and then you say player 1 scored, and then you see game over after 21 trials. So they had to play 21 trials till the game is over. Okay. Yeah. So the idea of while loop over the for loop, that the while loop, you don't know when the game will be over. You cannot use this. You cannot use for loop for this, because in the for loops you have to tell the Python how many iteration it should do. In the while loop, you do it in different way. You say keep iterating till the condition is not satisfied. Okay, so this is the main difference between while loop and for loop. Okay, so that's it for this video, and I wish you a good luck and see you in the next video.